Do you ever get confused as to where you're supposed to go in your career? Do you ever feel lost? Do you ever feel lost in your life? Like you've been going down one path and you feel a little bit stuck or a little bit frozen and you're too scared. You feel like you're too old, you're too inexperienced, and it's too late for you to change your life and to change your career. Well, I'm here to tell you that that is not true. But why hear it from me when you can hear it from my incredible, inspiring, one of my favorite people on planet Earth and beyond, Paulette Lifton. She is one of the most miraculous women you will ever meet in your entire life. She's a casting director, voice director, writer, producer, singer, and she does so much more. She's also the co-founder of our amazing Voice Masters community and studio, and she's here today to share some wisdom. Thank you so much for joining us, Paulette. How you doing?
Thank you, Ashley, for that beautiful introduction. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking.
It's just the truth. So it's easy to introduce you when it's the truth. I want to chat with you and kind of hear more about your journey, because you have this beautiful journey that you've gone on in your career and you've exceeded so far. I mean, you've won multiple Emmys. Look at your beautiful Emmys behind you. But beyond that, you've built incredible relationships. And I feel like anything that you want to tackle, you just are able to tackle and accomplish it to the highest level. So can you take me back to the beginning of how that first started?
Well, I've had quite an interesting journey from the time I was a teen till now. I'm not saying my age, but I'm definitely not a teenager anymore. I did not finish high school. I moved out of my house when I was 16. I became a hairdresser. I had a salon in Beverly Hills. I was about 35 years old. I was very successful. And one day I went, I don't want to do this at 50. So I went back to school at night. I took film classes. I tried a lot of different things. And I eventually settled on editorial. I was a picture editor and a music video editor. And I worked in Nashville and in Los Angeles and did about 9 features and a whole bunch of stuff in Nashville as well with big country artists. And I think at the end of that section of my career in Nashville, I was producing commercials for Garth Brooks. So that was a pretty great experience. And that was me going to Nashville because I love country music and calling people on the phone that I did not know and making appointments to meet people. And within 2 weeks, I got my first job there. And I think maybe because it's Nashville, because people are nice, I don't know, but it was a pretty great experience. And then here, how I sort of changed my career. I had sold my salon, and then basically I was working with an advertising company, and the head of the VP of audiovisual got a job, part-time job at night, another like a moonlighting job, editing a film, and he couldn't do it. So he said, "Do you want to do this movie?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'd never edited a movie in my life. And my first job as an editor, in the movie business was me editing a feature. So that was a great experience. Yeah, it was wild. I can't say it was the most illustrious feature. I think it was something like Cheerleaders from Hell or something. It was something really silly, but it didn't really matter because I needed to get my feet wet. And I believe, and this is part of what we're going to talk about today, is that, you, especially in the beginning of changing your career, you pretty much have to take any opportunity that you can get, because you need to meet people. And those people, once they like you, will help you get another job. And those people will help you get another job because of your integrity, because you do a great job, because you work really well with others. And you just build on that. And I think that that's really important. I also think me not knowing really where I wanted to go, I really wanted to be a film director and a writer. And I went on another job interview that I didn't really want the job, but the person had a film production company that also rented cameras, and I was doing music videos at the time, producing and directing those too. So I called them up, and an ex-boyfriend of mine worked there or something, and I rented some cameras from him. The next day he gave my number to this producer who was looking for a film editor, and that person ended up being not just my next boss. I did like 4 movies with him. I ended up marrying him too. That was Jimmy. So that was me going on a job interview that I did not want, and from that I met another person who really helped my career.
How did you know that you wanted to dip your toes into sound, into editing? Like, what took you from, working at a very amazing, salon, you built up this massive clientele in Beverly Hills, you're very successful, to saying, I want to dip my toes? Like, what sort of sign did you follow?
I think the sign that I followed was really that I never really took the time to really investigate my own desires and needs. When I decided to become a hairdresser, I was 17 years old, and I had to make a choice of supporting myself. So I was a DJ at night, and then during the day I went to school, and I supported myself. So that's basically what I did. I never really got to, I didn't get to go to private schools. I didn't get to go do things that I think that maybe my life would have been and turned out differently. I don't have no idea. But, all of these experiences really led me up to who I am today. If I hadn't been working in Beverly Hills and all these like powerful people, Aaron Spelling and just you name it, a million movie stars, a million TV stars, all these different great writers, all these really important people. So you really get used to being in that environment and talking to people and feel comfortable around those people. And from that, I think really helped me in my film career, because I think, a girl from the Valley with very little experience and life experience, it really helped me achieve a lot of confidence in myself. And I think everything that you do, if you look back on your life, everything that you do sources who you are now or who you want to become. Because without those experiences, you don't have enough, I'd say, life experience to really be able to deal with stressful situations.
Wow. And you bring up a good point, because a lot of people will use resources as an excuse. They'll say, oh, I don't have enough money. I spend so much time doing my side job. Like, if only I was made in a certain family, born in a certain family, or had more money, then I would be able to achieve my dreams. But you kind of are the poster child for being resourceful.
I don't know if it's blind ambition or what it is, but I think when you set an intention and you say it out loud in the universe, and then you do the steps to follow to make those things happen, even if they're small steps, the universe will tell you if this is the right direction. And that's part of the thing we want to talk about, which is the open door. Like, what doors are opening? If you're as an actor, you might have a goal of, I want to be on a animated series. I want to be, maybe you want to write and direct your own show and be the star, and whatever your dream is. Sometimes we get stuck when we think we have to make this big leap. Like, I want to go from A to Z. Well, go through the motions and the steps that where the universe is saying, hey, go in this door, even though this door doesn't look like the door you want. That door might take you to that door. And I really find that is really the case. I wanted to be a voice director probably more than 10 years ago.
Wow.
And and I ended up getting my first voice directing job when the Weinstein Company called me, because I was doing some other work for them. And they're like, we really like you, and we're starting this animation company as part of our overall, holdings that we're doing. And we looked at your credits and like, hey, we have 4 films. Do you want to do them? And they were like, I was like, what, 4 at the same time? Okay. And I called somebody that I knew that had done a lot of voice directing, and we tag teamed together. We did it together, and I learned a lot from him. I I don't know how long the universe takes to answer, but I was ready at that time. I mean,
you mentioned a good point, which was you called a friend who knew how to do it and kind of learned how to do it. And I think a lot of times people get scared to phone a friend, so to speak. Can you talk about just not having an ego and asking for help and how that's kind of helped you along the way?
Well, it helps when you pay them. So I think, yeah, because, you know, if you're hiring them, you know, they're being paid for a job. I mean, obviously I could call people and ask for help in just advice, and people are always, I'm always here to give people advice. And I know you are too, Ashley. It's called paying it forward. It's very important that we do that. But I think, you know, yeah, my ego could have said, oh, I don't need anybody. Yeah, I could do this. I've done other jobs. I've done, you know, whatever. But I really wanted to learn from somebody who I thought was the best. And I also wanted to learn from somebody who I trusted and who I liked, who I thought was fun to work with. And I think that, you know, it was probably one of the best experiences.
Yeah, you bring up a point too that I learned in a business program a long time ago, which was just surround yourself with the people who know exactly what you want to do and pay the money also to learn how, versus trying to figure it out yourself, wasting years and years, and time is money. And now 5 years have gone by and you still haven't learned that skill. Can you talk to me about like the importance of investing in your career?
Well, I think that a lot of people are greedy. I hate to say it. Like, oh, why do I want to give part of my money away to somebody else when I could, you know? I think it's being short-sighted. If you take on a job and you maybe say like, well, I might be working 12 hours a day, but if I hire someone to help me, maybe I'll only be working 8 hours a day, and then I can do another job, or I can be fresher for this job, or I can do a better job, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are very short-sighted, and that to me is also a scarcity mindset. When you live in a scarcity mindset of like, there's not going to ever be enough, right? Like, I don't know when my next job's going to be. Oh my God. I never know when my next job's going to be. I have never worked for anybody, and since I was 14 years old when I worked at Bob's Big Boy as a waitress. But
I love Bob's Big Boy.
The scarcity mindset is a way of life. And it's what you tell yourself, and you live out of that scarcity mindset. So you don't give things away. You don't give away information. You don't help other people. You don't share auditions with other people. You don't go like, hey, you know, if you're an actor, you're like, you know what, so-and-so would be so good for this part. I think I'm good, but I really think that person would fucking knock it out of the park. Like, freaking call that person. Call your friend, because you know what? That person's going to think of you next time, right? I don't know. I think the scarcity mindset is it will permeate your whole life. It'll permeate your love relationships, your family, your health, and I just think that it's I'd say give it away.
You've always been like that. I mean, you give so much of your time, so much of your resources to everyone, and you can tell you're a very purpose-driven person. And where do you think, like, if someone is coming from that scarcity mindset, but they don't want to be in it, they want to break free with everything they have, but they don't know any other habit. Do you have any like starting habits to kind of break what they've been doing for so long?
One is meditate, get out of your body, get out of your head. Two, I would say, this is going to sound super woo-woo, but it really works. Intention candles. They're powerful.
Intention
So
candles.
If you want to get rid of scarcity mindset, there's a place called House of Intuition, and also Follow Your Heart has these intention candles. So if you go get something that says abundance on it. So when you set the intention and you make that intention, and you make that whatever you want to call it, a prayer, you want to call it saying something out loud to it, whatever it is that you're trying to overcome in yourself, or something that you want, you say that out in the universe. because that starts to change your mindset. The other thing you can do, and something I learned when I was really young, it's called creative visualization. So you can write, if you say certain things, but you also need to write it and post it somewhere. Like, I am, a successful actor. I am loved by the most amazing person in the world. Whatever it is that you see yourself, like that you need in your life, your intention, you make it so it's already true. You make it so it's already happened. You are that. You're not becoming something. You are it now. And then if you are it now, you have nothing to prove and you have nothing to hold on to because you're it already. I came from a very poor family, so I had nothing growing up. Nothing. My parents didn't even buy me a car. Nothing. So I think it's your mindset, how you change how you think.
Something I've really taken note of from you is to take massive action on what you want and consistent daily action. And you are like this marathon runner, but like you're almost like a marathon runner who sprints, because like you are able to stay consistent and do it every day, but you also go really fast. So basically you're an Olympic runner, Paulette. But how do you take on such massive action, and what can you kind of recommend for others to do in terms of just building up that confidence and just doing the work each day, especially when on those days you don't really feel like it because you're such a self-starter?
Sometimes these goals that we have are so cumbersome that it's scary, right? So you can do something small every day, and you never know what that small thing's going to do. That could be reaching out to 5 people on LinkedIn. You could do these little tiny things every day, and even things that aren't that don't seem important. Sometimes they can be important. You never know. I mean, you never know who's going to see. You never know what's going to happen. And it's also like when it starts getting you also out of your head, right? So that's an important thing because you're taking some sort of action. Some days it's just hard to take big actions because we don't feel like it, or we get scared, or we like, oh, what's the point? That whole what's the point thing. Getting in, also not getting in your head about the result.
What would you tell people who say they feel like they're too late in the game, whether it's their age, whether it's, something that they didn't dive into when it first started? Maybe it's someone who wants to do TikTok and, they feel like they're too late in the game. Maybe it's someone who's using their age as an excuse, or, something that they feel like they can't do it because they didn't start earlier. What would you say to someone like that? And I can kind of relate because I had a major fear of not doing YouTube for 10 years. And it was really scary, but I make myself do a video every week, and it's scary each time, but I feel a little less scared each time.
I have that conversation sometimes, but it's not about how I feel about me. It's how I feel the society views age, right? There is a thing called ageism. It does exist. And I think there isn't. It's just like how people have been discriminated against in many different fashions over the centuries. So a long time ago, older people used to be taken care of by their families. They were revered as being knowledgeable, respected, loved, cared for. And now a lot of people are just discarded, and it's a mentality. And so I think you're as old as you feel you are. People of a certain age have a lot to offer, more so than somebody's 20. Not that 20 years don't have a lot to offer, they do. But I'm just saying, life experience, you cannot compete with life experience. And I think as long as you don't judge yourself, and as long as you presence something that other people will want, I don't think you have anything to worry about.
You are amazing. I so appreciate your time and energy. I always love chatting with you. All right, Paulette. So for all of our wonderful viewers out there who want to find you, maybe want to continue to get inspired by you, where can they find you on the interweb?
You can find me on Instagram at Paulette_Lifton. If you DM me, I set up free meetings just to hang out and talk and see about if I can help you with anything.
Yeah. Woo, woo. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you were just as inspired as I am. As always, if you haven't already, go ahead and click that red subscribe button for new videos every week. Give this video a thumbs up and let us know in the comments below what resonated with you and what's one action step you are going to take today for either your career, your life, your mental health, your emotional health. Do it today and let us know, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.